Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. On my last video, I explained how embryo form. That is by the fusion of two gametes, fertilization. We discussed fertilization. After fertilization, zygote form, and gradually how the zygote divides. That means it's a cleavage. Morula formed and then it forms embryo. So today we will going to discuss how the embryo develops. And that comes under the heads, that is embryogenesis. Embryogenesis. Genesis means formation and embryo formation, that is embryogenesis. And also we discussed that placenta, whenever the zygote developed, it developed from the embryo attached with the mother womb by the tissue. That tissue is called the placenta, and we discussed the role of placenta, what is the function of placenta. Okay, so we discussed all that things. So today we are going to discuss that how the embryo forms. So let's look at the diagram. Here is the this is chorionic villi. We discussed that on previous lessons, that on previous video. There is a chorionic villi, and here is a tissue mass. We call it as a inner cell mass. Okay, so here is the chorionic villi, and here was the cell mass, inner cell mass, and inner cell mass. Okay, so that inner cell mass, it divides and it forms two layers. It forms two layers inside this cavity. Okay, so this is chorionic villi, and this inner cell mass, it forms two layer. Upper layer, it is epiblast, and the lower layer is called hypoblast. Okay, now what happened? Morula, and then it was formed the blastocell cavity. Okay, in the blastocell cavity there was a blastomere, and that inner cell mass was also there, and it's formed a cavity. So now what happened after the blastocyst, that blastocyst is developing. It forms the inner cell mass within the blastocyst. It divides to form the epiblast and hypoblast. Now this epiblast cell, it divides and it forms the upper, that is called the amniotic sac, or yes, it's amniotic sac, and here the hypoblast, it divides to form yolk sac. Okay, now what happens? Epiblast, it divides and redivides. It's formed three layers. The three layers are, what are they? That is endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. Now this epiblast divides to form endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm. Okay, whenever these three derm form, then we term this as a gastrula. Okay, now we call it as a gastrula. So gastrula have three layers, but the blastocyst or blastula doesn't have three layers. It has a blastomere, inner cell mass inside the blastocell cavity. Okay, so let's look. Here's the endoderm. Now different organs of the baby. We have heart, we have our skin, our blood vessels, muscles. So all the parts of our body formed by these three layers. Now look, what are the organs are formed by these three layers. First, ectoderm. By the ectoderm, skin, eye, ear, and nervous system. Okay, and nervous system generally formed by the ectoderm. By the mesoderm, heart, blood vessels. I write it in abbreviation: B for blood, V for vessels. Okay, blood vessels, heart, and blood connective tissues, okay, connective tissues, and then gonads. So these are the main organs. They are formed by the mesoderm. Now from the by the ectoderm there will be thyroid, parathyroid. So these are some spleen. These are actually formed. Liver, gut, that is the intestinal, our alimentary tract. Okay. So thyroid, parathyroid, liver, gut, these are formed by the endoderm. Heart, blood vessels, connective tissues, gonads, these are formed by the mesoderm. And skin, eye, ear, nervous systems formed by the ectoderm. So whenever the blastula transform into 3 layers, is termed as a gastrula. Okay. Now these are. Now what happened? Here is the, look, this is, suppose this is embryo, okay, and here is the placenta. Now this chorionic villi actually it's making space inside the mother myometrium. We discussed on my last video whenever the implantation on the under the topic implantation. So how implantation took place? Chorionic villi of the embryo, that not actually embryo, this is a blastula. It forms a finger-like projections, that is called chorionic villi. This is the extraembryonal membrane. Okay, so this chorionic villi comes and it attaches with the mother uterus. The endometrium of the uterus. The endometrium of the uterus then is termed actually transformed into the decidua. So this decidua or the endometrium of the uterus is attached with the chorionic villi and it form the implantation. Then we call it as an implantation. Right. Now after the implantation, that connection transformed into what? This transformed into placenta, and placenta is a disc-shaped structure, that is placenta. Now this embryo connected with a cord-like structure with the placenta, and this cord is called what? This is called umbilical cord. This cord is called umbilical cord. Okay. Within the umbilical cord there is a fetus blood. It contains fetus blood. Within the umbilical cord there are two arteries and one vein. But we generally know that vein carries deoxygenated blood and artery carries oxygenated blood. But here is the exception. Just like the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, we know that pulmonary artery is an artery but it's carrying deoxygenated blood. Normally artery doesn't carry deoxygenated blood, it carries oxygenated blood. But there was an exception for the respiratory chapter, in respiration chapter, that artery carries deoxygenated, pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. So here is the same thing, two arteries that are passing through the umbilical cord, it carries deoxygenated blood, okay, and the vein that carries oxygenated blood. And here is the mother, suppose this is the mother body, that is the endometrium. It gives oxygen and carbon dioxide goes out through the placenta. So all the oxygen's gaseous exchange actually happening through the placenta, from mother body to the fetus body. Okay, so oxygen is coming through the umbilical cord and carbon dioxide is also passing by the umbilical cord. Okay, so that's the thing happening whenever the implantation occurs. Okay, now how looks the chorion? Okay, how it looks. Look. Now it looks like that. It forms the chorionic villi. Suppose this is our chorionic villi. chorionic villi. Okay. And here is the embryo. This is embryo, right? And here is the amnion, amniotic sac. And amniotic sac, and here is the amniotic fluid. This is the amniotic fluid. So this is amniotic sac, and the fluid inside the sac is amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid, and this actually going to form the umbilical cord. Okay, it's going to attach with the placenta. So this is chorionic villi. This is chorionic villi, right? And so this is actually it looks after the implantation, by the development. Now the embryo will develop. Okay, what is the function of amniotic fluid? So the function of the amniotic fluid is that, look that at the diagram, the embryo is floating actually. Embryo is floating on that fluid, amniotic fluid. So the main function of the amniotic fluid is that it absorbs the shock absorber. It protects any injury. It protects the embryo by any injury. Okay, so it gives the protection to the embryo. Okay, so it looks like that. And this is the chorion. This is chorion. This is chorionic villi. This is amniotic sac. The liquid inside the sac, that is amniotic fluid, and the fluid inside the fluid there is embryo. Now the embryo will develop. Now we are going to discuss the embryogenesis. What is genesis? That is the formation. Now the embryo will develop, and the embryo development actually comes under the topic gestation. So what is gestation? Let me to use that part. So now is gestation. So gestation is the time period. It's a time period from fertilization to baby birth. Okay, baby birth, or you can say delivery, whatever you can say. So this is the time period. Gestation is the time period. Whenever the fertilization occurs, then the embryo comes and the embryo gradually develops to form a mature baby. So this long duration, okay, is called the gestation. So for the human, the gestation period is about 9 months. So for human, gestation period is about 9 months. So how actually we calculate it as a trimester, okay, trimester 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So 1, 2, 3, 3 months. 3 months form one trimester. Okay, this is called trimester. And then 4, 5, 6, it is second trimester. This is first trimester. This is second trimester, and 7, 8, 9, that is third trimester. Okay. So 9 months it completes third, that is 3 trimesters are there. So that's about the gestation period. Now look for the how the developments occur in every month. For the first month what happened? First month the heart form. The embryo's heart form. So heart formed for the first month. After the formation of the heart, the first sounds come. Okay. Now the doctors are able to realize the sound of the baby. Okay. So actually that is actually realized by the ultrasonography. by the stethoscope. Okay, so for the first one, heart form, and then at the end of the 12 weeks, that is end of 12 week, that is actually second month. At the end of 12 week, okay, it would better say that at the end of 2 months, second month. Okay, at the end of the second month, what happens? Limbs and digits. Limbs and digits are formed. Limbs means these are our forelimbs and these are digits, the fingers. The fingers and toes are the digits, and our legs and hands, these are the limbs. So limbs and digits are formed for the second month. Now, by the end of the second month, end of at the end of the first trimester, major organs formation completed. Gonads, limbs, okay, genitalia, these are all completed at the first trimester. Now at the 5th month, now starts the 5th month. Here at the 5th month, what happened? Hairs come on head. Hairs come on head, and baby starts to move. Slight movement appear here on head, and baby starts to move at the end of the 24 weeks. End of 24 weeks. The end of 24 weeks, eyelids separate. Eyelids separate, and what happened? Eyelash formed. And at the end of the 9 month, that is at the end of the 3rd trimester, the baby mature. Now it becomes ready for delivery. So what are the main features of each month's look? For the first month, heart form. Second month, limbs and digits. These are formed. At the end of the first trimester, major organs, genitalia, limbs are all completed. These are formation completed. At the 5th month, hair appears on head, and baby starts to move. Slight movement appears after the 5 months. And then at the end of the 24 weeks, eyelids separate, eyelashes comes on the lids, and then at the end of the 9 months, the baby become mature enough for its come out of the mother womb. So these are the gestation period over the mother womb, that how they are developing day by day. Now comes the parturition. Parturition, we often call it as parturition. So parturition is what? Parturition. Okay. So parturition is actually the childbirth or the delivery of the baby. Now the baby will be ready to come out from the mother womb through the vagina. Okay, so delivery of the baby, or we call it as the childbirth. Delivery or childbirth. So look, baby actually it says to mother that I am ready, I am want to come out from your mother womb. So baby generate a stimulus for its delivery. How it is happening? Look. This is our uterine wall layer, okay, and here is the smooth muscles of the endometrium. When this period comes, progesterone level, actually we discussed that progesterone is very important for the maintenance of the endometrium. So up to the period whenever the baby attached with the endometrium, progesterone is very important because progesterone needs to be made strong. Endometrium needs to make strong, otherwise baby will not be get attached with that womb. So at that level, up to that level, progesterone is okay. But whenever the baby get mature, at the end of the 9 months, the progesterone level is diminishing. It is becoming low in compared to the estrogen. Estrogen level becoming high. Okay, and another more thing is that and baby's movement is started from the 5 months, but at the end of the 9 months, the movement becoming vigorous. Okay, whenever the movement is very frequent, becoming very frequent, so baby is moving his hands, his limbs inside the womb, and that actually create a stimulus. That stimulus goes, we saw how this happening, movement of baby. Movement of baby creates a stimulus, and that stimulus goes to the posterior part of the pituitary. It goes to the posterior part of pituitary. Whenever the stimulus goes to the posterior part of the pituitary, and it tells the pituitary that you secrete oxytocin. So pituitary starts secreting oxytocin. Pituitary starts secreting oxytocin. And here are the receptors of oxytocin. These receptors are present at the smooth muscles of the endometrium. Okay, so these are the receptor of oxytocin. Okay. Now look, baby's movement start. It's becoming just telling mother, I want to come out from the mother womb. So he is moving his hands, he is moving his limbs. And that's movement giving actually the stimulus to the posterior pituitary. And then immediately the posterior pituitary is secreting oxytocin hormone. That oxytocin hormone comes, and that hormone actually receives by the receptor present in the mother endometrium, in the smooth muscles of the mother endometrium. And that receptor receives oxytocin, and that is actually the chain reaction. It's come and it creates a contraction over there. Oxytocin comes and it creates contraction over the uterine wall. And then baby again moves his limbs. So whenever the movement becomes vigorous, more and more oxytocin will be there. More and more oxytocin will be at the uterine wall, and there will be a more contraction. Okay, and that contraction, then what it actually do? It facilitates the baby out. And here is 3 phases. What are these phases? These phases are of parturition. Phases. Okay. First phase is dilation. What is dilation? I have already told you that pelvic symphysis, the bone joints, at two pelvic bone joints, that portion is called pelvic symphysis. That dilate, oxytocin dilate that part. It relax the cervix, because here is the cervix. It relaxes the muscle at the cervix region, and this duration is about 14 to 16 hours. It varies up to one female to another. So here dilation starts. Next phase is expulsion. Okay. So here expulsion means the baby's head. Okay. One minute. The baby's head goes down. Okay. At the end of the 9 months, what happened here is, suppose this is the mother womb. At the beginning of the gestation period, at the beginning to middle, his baby's head actually at the upper part, at the upper position. But whenever the time comes for delivery, at the end of the 9 months, baby's head is moved and it comes down. So now at the end of the month, 9 months, baby's head, it's come down. Okay. Now the baby's head is, now it's here. Okay, this is head. This is the body. So now what happened for the expulsion? For the expulsion, the female vagina. Here is the vagina. So here, vagina, baby is coming out through the vagina. That is called the expulsion. So here, baby comes out through the vagina. To the vagina, and that is called the expulsion. And finally, there is after birth. So here, after birth, whenever the baby come out through the female vagina, it also takes out the placenta where it's attached with the mother. So whenever at the after birth, placenta taken out. Placenta also taken out. Baby come out and also placenta taken out the placenta. So that are the 3 phases of parturition. So this is all about the parturition. Now what happened? Whenever the baby come out from the mother womb, it needs some food. Okay. Whenever it was in the mother womb, it takes all the foods from the mother blood. Placenta helps him to take all the foods. Gaseous exchange also occurred by the placenta. It takes oxygen all over things. But whenever it comes out to the mother from the mother womb, it needs some food, and the processing also started within the mother body. So what is that called? That processing is called the lactation. So one last topic for this chapter is lactation. Whenever any guest come to our body, it's a normal courtesy, we offer some drinks, right? Now the baby has come out, so it's a celebration, and mother is offering some drink, that is milk. So how it's activated in mother body? That is lactation. Lactation. Whenever the progesterone level become low and estrogen level high, and oxytocin level becoming high, so at that time one more hormone, that is called prolactin. Prolactin level also it becoming high. Prolactin level also becoming high, and it gives stimulus to suppose this is the nipple, it gives stimulus to the alveoli. Okay, alveoli. This is alveoli. Okay. Now, whenever the stimulus comes, prolactin stimulates the alveoli to secrete milk. Prolactin stimulates the alveoli to secrete milk, and that milk are storing in that part, in the alveoli. Okay, in that alveoli. And here from the alveoli there is a mammary duct. This is mammary duct. Mammary duct come, and here are some muscles, some adipose tissues are there. Okay, mammary duct comes, and this solen part is called ampulla. Ampulla. Okay, ampulla. So the milks come out through the ampulla, and then it comes through the lactiferous duct. This is called lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct. Okay. So the baby here from the milk come out. Now the first milk that is come out from the nipple, that is called the colostrum. It's very important. First milk and after milk. After milk, okay. First milk that is come out from the mother body, that is by the nipple, that is called colostrum. That is called colostrum. It is rich in protein. There is no fat, calories, no fat. Is rich in protein. Rich in protein, and also IgA. That actually gives the immunity to the baby. So colostrum, the first milk of the mother is called colostrum, is very important. Its color is yellow. It's yellow in color. So the first milk that is coming out from the mother body, by the nipple, that is called the colostrum. It is yellow in color, rich in protein, calorie, there is no fat. Okay, it's very important to give the immunity to the baby, the newborn baby. And what is after milk? After milk, it's white in color. It's white in color, and also there is a lactose. Okay, one more thing is there. Lactose is there. But here protein and calories are less. Protein and calories are less in compared to the colostrum. So that's why when after milk, baby needs to give other substitute food. Okay, because that is not enough for the baby growth. So white color, protein, calories are less in compared to the colostrum. Okay, so these are all about this chapter. We discussed the whole topic, that is we started from the male and female reproductive system, then insemination, then fertilization. After fertilization we discussed the implantation. Then after implantation there is gestation period. Embryo develops during that period, and after the development there is parturition. That parturition means the embryo developed from baby. Now the newborn baby, the baby come out, it's newborn now, and it has its food by the process, that is lactation. So today I finished that chapter, that is human reproduction. I think I make you clear about the all topics under this chapter. Then if you have any doubt, please ask me in my comment section. Okay. And if you are new in my channel, please go to the subscribe button and press it, and also share my channel. Okay. We will meet on my next video with new chapter. Okay. Till then, take care. Thank you for watching.